Okay, I am back with another video for 3 more Nintendo Switch 2 accessories. The 3 cases we're going to unbox, apply, and review in this video is going to be the Spigen Air Fit case, the requested Savage and Raven case, and then a brand I haven't personally used before is going to be Kailfee or Kailfee. Before we get started, if you could, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really does help my videos get to the deep, dark corners of the YouTube algorithm internet. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the Spigen Air Fit case here. You can see it says Spigen Air Fit at the top here. And honestly, when I was looking at this case on Amazon, it did not get very many good reviews, which is uncommon for Spigen since they tend to put out some really qualitative stuff. So I had to buy it and test it out and give my review to you all here on YouTube. Here we have our fancy pantsy unboxing knife, and it looks like there's only going to be 2 stickers here on the top portion of the box. So let's go ahead and cut one sticker right here, and then another sticker over here. Inside the box here, let's go ahead and pull this flap up and pull out the contents. Okay, so that was interesting to unbox. So I guess we have the main case here. And here we go. This is going to be a transparent case for Spigen and the Nintendo Switch 2. I am liking it so far. I do like how there is a little bit of flex in it, but not overly fragile. And I do like clear cases, just like my other cases that I have already. And here is going to be, I'm assuming, where the Joy-Con portions are going to be. So Spigen kind of went crazy with the unboxing portion for us YouTubers here. So let's go ahead and open up the right side here. And then let's do the same thing on the opposite side. All right, and what's this? I'm not quite sure what they are. I think they're sticker adhesive thingies for, I guess, the Switch and the case. I guess we'll find out. All right, so let's unwrap these Joy-Cons really quick. And there's one, and then here's another. This is for the left Joy-Con, I believe. And, oh, I'm sorry, no, this is for the right Joy-Con. And so basically you would take the Joy-Cons, and then on the top here there's going to be a little bit of a clip, and then on the sides here is going to be where the actual clips stay onto the Joy-Con. So I think this is promising. I'm not quite sure why people are marking this bad on the Amazon website. They are saying that it is flimsy, but not any more flimsy than some of the other cases that I've reviewed so far. Okay, and then this side we have the left Joy-Con. And here are these little adhesive things. So I guess this is going to be either a sticker that I have to peel so that way I can put it onto the Switch 2, or maybe they're just there for grip. Okay, so here we have the blue Joy-Con, and that's going to be the left one. We're gonna take our left kind of Joy-Con case, place it inside, nice and simple. And then we're going to take the top front portion, and we're just going to go ahead and clip it in. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. It's nice and clipped in. It does take a moment for you to kind of figure out how to finagle the clip at the very top here, so that way it does clip in effectively. But overall, it seems fine. Oh, well, look at that. So you can see here that the Joy-Con doesn't exactly stay fit. So I guess that's why we had the adhesive there. So I'm actually going to undo this really quick. I'm gonna check and see if I can unpeel something from this adhesive, or maybe use this adhesive, and then check and see if this kind of casing is going to then slip. So here we have the orange Joy-Con, and same methodology. We have our top plate there, and then we have our bottom plate here. And honestly, this thing looks like, oh, the sticker just kind of peels off. So, okay, I completely see why you had to give extra stickers here, because the pre-installed stickers are not really sticking. How about that? So we're gonna go ahead and do it like this, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that it clips into place like so. And there we go. So minus the sticker kind of funkiness right here on both of the Joy-Cons, they actually feel really good. I do like the fact that it's clear, and I do like the fact that the cutouts for the buttons, for the XYBA buttons, the plus and minus button, the chat and home button, the actual analog stick, and then also on the opposite side, again, everything just has a really nice kind of clean look to it. The buttons are uninterrupted, and I will have to say that once you put this case onto your Joy-Cons, it's kind of hard to take the case off, so this might be like a one and done situation if you are just looking to have just one case on your Nintendo Switch 2. All right, so onto the actual case here now. We actually have the kind of transparent one here. Let's see which side is up. So I think this side is up. Thanks, Spigen, for not giving me directions there. But we're going to go ahead and place the top portion in first and then squeeze the bottom portion. And there you go. So there we go. This is a really nice and snug fit. You will have no section in here to use your included kickstand. So again, come on, guys. We have to have cutouts for the kickstand. The kickstand is pretty awesome. I use my Nintendo Switch 2 in tabletop mode quite regularly. So in terms of gripability, in terms of just like how the case hugs the actual Nintendo Switch tablet, that it does come over just a smidge, and then same thing for the bottom. There are no adhesives at the bottom of this particular case, and it actually hugs it pretty well. Again, I'm liking this so far, but a big major downfall for me is going to be the fact that it's like teasing me because it says, hey, look at this awesome Switch 2 kickstand that you have that you also cannot use while using our case. And then we're gonna put the Joy-Cons back on. Joy-Cons are nice and easy to put on, just as you would normally would. And this is actually kind of a cool aesthetic. Protectiveness and just kind of all like the kickstand shenanigans aside, this kind of reminds me of when Nintendo made the Game Boy Advance with the kind of transparent plastic skins. And so here, again, it's all seamless. I think this case would be probably my super duper ultra fragilistic expialidocious favorite case if it did have the kickstand availability. So I'm not quite sure why Spigen decided to not just have a little bit of a kickstand here, because I mean, really, it's just a little bit of plastic. But hey, what do I know? All the cutouts for this are nice and precise for the top and the bottom of the Nintendo Switch. And then we have to see if it's going to fit in the dock. So here we have the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, and we're gonna go ahead and place it in. And so there we have it. This Spigen Air Fit case is pretty nice. I'm not entirely sure why it's getting so many negative reviews on Amazon. For me, I am not a fan of the fact that the kickstand here is pretty much just a tease, but the fact that it does provide protection to your Nintendo Switch, all the cutouts are nice and precise. It is nice and slim. It barely adds any type of weight to your Nintendo Switch. And then it also, again, is dockable. So again, I don't know why exactly this is getting super bad reviews on Amazon, but I actually really like this case. Okay, so next up we have our Savage and Raven by Skull & Co. And this is actually going to be a case that one of you all have actually recommended that I try this out. This is again for the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's go ahead and unbox it. We have a sticker here at the bottom, so we're just gonna peel that up and then undo this plastic right here and then slide it out, I think. Okay. Slide out the back portion, and then we have the actual case over here. So first and foremost about this case, I do want to state that there is no hard plastic in the back, so this is flexible, which has some good and bad things about that. But I do like the fact that this back portion right here, I can't really show it on camera, but it does have a little bit of texture to it. It feels like it's like sandpaper, but obviously it's not sandpaper, but it's just there so that way it grips your Nintendo Switch. I don't think it's going to damage the Nintendo Switch because it does feel like it's soft. So again, in the nature of this particular case, it is going to be a flexible case. You can see here on the back end, the grip has the Joy-Con section that has the grip. This is nice and actually has like a little bit of like maybe a rubbery texture to it. It's not just hard plastic of the grips. They are ergonomic, and again, they actually provide additional grip in terms of texture, not just ergonomics. The cutouts are nice and precise, as you would imagine. Same thing for the top there. But one thing that this doesn't have is going to be a kickstand. This is something kind of super critical to me because, again, I use my Switch 2 in tabletop mode quite often, and so that is kind of a heartbreaker. But let's go ahead and put the Switch 2 in here and see how it feels with weight and whatnot. So let's go ahead and put one corner at a time, as if we're going to put in one pant leg at a time, and then do the other Joy-Con, and then let's go ahead and squeeze the top portion there. And this feels really good. I would have to say right off the bat, even though these little ergonomic grips are there for better ergonomics, they are a little bit small. Whenever I'm holding this in my hand, the grips, I kind of wish they were a little bit more chunkier, because it feels like there's a little bit of a gap between my hand right there. And so just because of that, I feel like it's not as ergonomic as it could be, but that could be a very Derek thing. So at the bottom here, you can see that's a little bit more of a more streamlined flat design, whereas everything else is a little bit more rounded off. I would have to give it to this particular case because of the fact that it doesn't make the Nintendo Switch 2 super ultra heavy, but it does add a little bit of weight to whenever you are holding the Nintendo Switch. Something that I don't like about the case, even though I'm liking everything so far, is the fact that, again, one, the kickstand isn't available. At least it's not teasing me like the Spigen Air Fit case. But two is the fact that in order to take my Joy-Cons out of this particular case, I'd have to take the entire case off and then remove the Joy-Cons. And then, yeah, see? I mean, in order to take off the Joy-Cons, I'd have to go through all that, and then I guess put the Switch 2 back in its case like so. I mean, that is counterintuitive to me. And then on top of that, and then when it's like this, I can't even put it in a kickstand. So I do like the way this particular case feels, but this one is absolutely missing some stuff for me. Again, that first critical blunder for me is going to be the fact that there is no kickstand. And then the second critical blunder for me is going to be the fact that the Joy-Cons are just going to be a headache to take out of the case every time. But let's go ahead and check and see if it's dockable. So here we have our Nintendo Switch 2 dock, and we're going to slide in the... No, we're not. This is not dockable for the Nintendo Switch 2. You can see here that it's actually a little bit too chubby. So let's see. Let's make sure it's not a Derek thing. So let's put it down and... Nope, that's it. That's as far as it's going to be docked. So this case is not going to be the type of case that you're going to want to buy if you dock your Nintendo Switch often, because you're going to be sorely disappointed. So a few of you did reach out to me via email and said, hey, try this case out. And I am here trying it. I do believe that this case has a lot to offer. It's just not the case for me. All right, so this is our last case for this video, and this is going to be the Kailfee or the Kailfee. And this is a case that really caught my attention, mainly because of the fact that Amazon had some pretty good reviews on this. I think it had about 450 reviews and it was 4.5 stars. So this case advertises that has 360-degree protection, perfect fit, anti-scratch, integrated frame screen protector, and then an ergonomic design. So the integrated screen protector is something that I'm not overly fond of because of the fact that I actually have a tempered glass on my Switch already. But for those of you who don't have a tempered glass, hopefully this case might be the one that you're looking for. So let's go and open it up here, and let's go ahead and open the left side and pull the contents out. And then we have the actual case. So here we have it, and then we have this section right here, which is going to be some kind of instruction manual a little bit, you know, just kind of the basic packaging stuff. So here we then have the actual case. And I would have to say, for the fact that it is 360 all around, it's actually really light. And so the case here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the Joy-Cons off, which is a cool feature in and of itself. These are plastic, and they are kind of like soft plastic. You can see that they are bendable, they're flexible, but they actually have a lot of really good grip to them. There are no real textures except for kind of like this shiny thing right here. This is going to be a little bit more of plastic that has a little bit more gripability, and then everything else is more so along the lines of kind of like smooth plastic. So that's actually pretty interesting. I am actually excited to see how the Joy-Cons fit into these, and hopefully there isn't going to be any kind of wiggle room. Let's go ahead and pull the cushion out here. And so now that we've pulled the cushion out, we then have a hard shell on the back here. It is transparent, and you can see that there's kind of some bubble full plastic wrap inside. But the thing about this is the fact that it has a built-in screen protector. So yeah, this right here, what my finger's on, that's a plastic screen protector. So in order for you to take the screen protector off of the case, you're going to have to grab either the bottom or the top lip of the case and kind of peel it back a little bit. And then that's then going to allow for kind of the plastic teeth or the plastic grooves to release the screen protector like that, you see? So I'm gonna go ahead and undo the top plastic groove, and then I should be able to pull the screen protector out. But the case here, again, we have a hard plastic right here, and this is going to have a little bit of a protective kind of saran wrap type plastic around it. So let's peel this off really quick. I am liking this case quite a lot. Considering how much I like the case, I am disappointed to see the fact that this case doesn't have a kickstand feature. Come on, guys, what's up with this whole no kickstand thing? If you know why these manufacturers aren't making kickstand compatible cases, please let me know down in the comments below. All right, so there we have it. Now with the kind of the plastic adhesion, like protective film off of the back portion, this is super nice and clear, which is going to serve because you see there's going to be the Nintendo Switch 2 branding there. So let's go ahead and install the Joy-Cons really quick first. So here's one Joy-Con, here's the other. So let's go ahead and squeeze the Joy-Con in from the top this time, and let's see if that's easier. Yep. Sliding in from the top is going to be much easier, and let's go ahead and push it in, and there we go. Let's see, it's a little bit loose, so I'm wondering if I did something wrong. So it was a little bit loose over here, but I didn't see that it wasn't aligned at the very top there. And so now it is actually sitting pretty snug in there. So again, this feels really good. The ergonomics is going to be kind of going all the way down for your entire hand, your entire grip, which is a really cool feature because a lot of the other ergonomic cases will kind of just like focus on your middle finger down to your pinky finger. But this one, it goes all the way down, which is kind of cool. Kind of feels like you're holding a bottle. Other than that, the cutouts for the blue side is nice and secure. Again, there is no obstructions to any of the bumper or trigger buttons. And then also everything is in alignment over here on the side. Let's do the right Joy-Con. So again, sliding it from the top and pushing in, and let's get the thumbstick around and in. And again, if you're getting this kind of feature right here where it feels loose, just make sure that the top portion of the Joy-Con or the case for the Joy-Con goes over the actual Joy-Con. And so you pretty much just have to kind of massage it over the top portion of the Joy-Con so that way it then sits nice and snug. I am not complaining about the fact that I have to kind of force the case to hug the top portion of the Joy-Con, because that means that this is going to ensure that your Joy-Con is going to be safe if it ever drops or whatever. So again, same quality on this side. All the button cutouts are nice and precise. All the alignment is nice and precise. Again, we have that ergonomic design on the back. Something I do wish that we had a little bit more was kind of more texture on the back. Even though it is an ergonomic kind of design, there isn't much texture except for this darker black line here, which is just a different kind of plastic. So that way there's a little bit more grip than the kind of smooth grip here. Maybe some texturization would have been good on the back end of the Joy-Con here. All right, so now let's go ahead and get to the actual case for the Nintendo Switch 2 tablet. Here we have our tablet, and we're just going to use the bottom. So on the back end, I do like this design. It has kind of like a X design and then showcases the Nintendo Switch 2 there. So it's really, really cool. And then this black TPU on the back is nice and precise and smooth. The cutouts on the bottom are nice and precise. Same thing for the cutouts on top. All right, so let's go and peel off the kind of screen protector on this screen protector. And let's peel that off. All right, there we go. So now this is super clear, and I'm going to go ahead and align it to the Switch. So before I do that, let's go ahead and wipe this down really quick because we don't want all those dust particles in there. I am leaving my tempered glass onto the Switch because of the fact that I don't think it's going to cause any type of interruption with the pre-built plastic screen protector on the actual case. So it looks like I am going to have to put this kind of screen protector thing on top of the Switch first, and you can see that there are very designated cutouts for the screen top portion. And so once I have the cutouts aligned with the Nintendo Switch 2, I can then start to kind of wiggle the screen protector as well as the Nintendo Switch 2 into the rest of the case body or frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and massage that into the rest of the case here. Okay, so kind of just like finalizing the installation here is it is quite a struggle to get everything kind of locked in. Again, you have to kind of get the grooves onto the screen protector faceplate there, and then you have to add the black TPU around it. So you just kind of have to snap everything in. Continuing to kind of massage the case onto the hard plastic. This is like the OtterBox of the Nintendo Switch 2 cases. So if you're going to be lending your Nintendo Switch 2 to your child or some child or children, this is probably the case that you want to go with, because when they say it's 360-degree protection, they are not kidding, because again, we have a screen protector here, and then we have a faceplate that holds that screen protector, wrapped around with some more TPU and hard plastic on the back. And then here we have the Joy-Cons, which have their own case, and these are as protected as I've seen any Switch case so far. And so that's just a really good case. So I'm really liking this case. It does feel really good. Considering what happened to my first generation Switch, I might actually have to keep this on my Nintendo Switch 2. So you can go ahead and put the Joy-Cons in over here, nice and crisp, and like that. Super nice. And then something that I do want to identify is the fact that there is a little bit of bubbling on the actual screen. So the screen protector that comes kind of pre-installed onto this case doesn't have any adhesive, not like a tempered glass would. So this is kind of sitting on top of your glass or your screen for your Switch 2. And so whenever you do touch it, you get to hear like a little micro tap, because there is just a tiny bit of space between this screen protector. And then so again, you're going to get that little kind of like sound response. As an overall package, the ergonomic design on this case is actually really good. It feels good in the hand. I do wish there was a little bit more texture on the Joy-Con section, and then the back here, it just feels really good. So something that I always have to check and see if it does is going to be the fact that, is it going to be dockable? So again, we're going to put this into the docking station, and it does make it further into the docking station, albeit it actually does make the docking station a little bit more wider here, so I don't like that. And then overall, it just doesn't fit, so that's unfortunate. So, okay, so three things about this case is the fact that, one, there's no kickstand support. Two is the fact that it doesn't fit into the docking station. And then three, getting this case on and then ultimately off for whatever reason, this is going to be the case that is going to give you the biggest headache because it's so protective. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. These three cases are unique in each of their own respective. I'd have to say, if I had to choose a winner, it would be the Spigen case. I can't really justify why people are giving it negative reviews on Amazon, aside from maybe it's not typical Spigen high quality, but it's not a bad case at all. All of these cases have their pros and cons, and it's really going to come down to what you're looking for in a case. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, because I'm going to continue to provide you more Nintendo Switch 2 content, as well as just other technology types of videos as well. Also, don't forget that I am doing a giveaway for the Syntec steering wheel accessories for the Switch 2, as well as the Syntec charging station for the Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch 2. The steering wheel giveaway ends on June 20th, 2025, and the charging station for the Joy-Cons ends on June 27th, 2025. All you have to do to qualify is to make sure that you are liking and subscribing to this video, as well as leaving a comment on your favorite item or weapon in Mario Kart World, and also where are you watching this video from. Those little steps are going to help my video and channel kind of get to the deep dark corners of the YouTube internet, as well as qualify you to win some free Nintendo Switch stuff. So it's a win-win. I'll see you in the next one.